Going back to January and all that tire testing at the Chili Bowl, if you might remember, Clinton Boyles was one of the drivers busted for a failed tire test, and he was DQ'd from action on Saturday. In the aftermath, he did a video for Flow Racing where he spoke directly with event tech director Cody Cordell about the whole situation and kind of what happened, what went down. Boyles revealed that weeks in advance he had done some wet grinding on the tires using the cleaner Simple Green. They were then put away for use later on, obviously at the Chili Bowl. He and Cordell talked about how that process when using cleaners like Simple Green can get guys busted on those tests for doped tires. That grinding with whatever chemical reaction happens between the tire surface and the cleaners, it doesn't have a big effect like some other chemical alterations certainly can, but it does take the tire sample far enough away from the benchmark that it does come back up as failed. We don't know exactly what happened with Hunter Schurenberg's failed test and Sam Johnson's, but I did appreciate and respect the honesty and transparency from both Boyles and Cordell in that moment. Boyles was certainly under no obligation to talk about it, but he did that anyway. And I bring all of this up because a racing series made a change to their tire rules not that long ago, and it would appear as though what happened at the Chili Bowl maybe played a role in adding extra terminology. Before Dirt Car National started, the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series put out a rules bulletin regarding tires and tire testing to, quote, clear up language in that section. And I had missed this because we were kind of deep in on that gambling rules bulletin, and these two bulletins kind of came out right near each other. If you are curious, tires are covered in Section 10 of the World of Outlaws rulebook, which you can find at dirtcar.com/rules. There were a couple of additions and clarifications in there, with, among other things, it being noted that, quote, tire samples sent for analysis must match the benchmark provided to the laboratory by Hoosier Tire as determined by the laboratory. That just added some specificity to that particular rule. I think most everybody kind of already knew and understood this. But also in that Section 10, subsection B, verbiage was added about wet grinding. That full sentence now reads, chemical alteration of the tread carcass and or tread compound, such as tire soaking and or the introduction of tread softener and or wet grinding with any liquid and or the physical defacement, removal, altering and or covering of tire sidewall markings in any manner will not be permitted. If a tire failed under the previous verbiage for this, it was still a failed test, but for those looking through the rules, this does give a proper warning about this technique and obviously not to do it. I don't know specifically if these changes were in response to an actual situation that happened with the sprint cars, maybe within the last year or so, but for this verbiage to be added not long after Chili Bowl, it certainly makes me think there is at least some connection here.